we human approach unknown actually through metaphors. Yeah, we use metaphor as a conceptual tool to understand the unknown. For example, if we want to know what elephant is look like, we actually need conceptual tools like fence, and like pillar, like walls, and like tubes. And those concepts help us to actually to understand, to picture the unknown. Yeah, so we rely heavily on metaphors to understand the world. It is worth noting that throughout human civilization, we experience different reality. We experience different things in our life which provide those metaphors. For example, in mechanical time, our view of the universe is a clock-like machine, because at that time, the high-tech achievements is clocks and watches. And therefore, we try to understand the world in terms of machinery. Yeah. When the human civilization reached the electrification stage, we had a new concept called electricity. So we have a new concept. We build models of the world based on the new concept, like electrically charged particles. We have nuclear, which is positively electrically charged. We have electrons, negatively charged particles. So we have a new concepts at each stage of human civilization. Yeah. Now we're entering a new stage of human civilization, and we are in the age of digital and computation. So we have a set of new tools with which we can use to figure out, to make sense of the world. So nowadays, we have concepts like computers and big data and cloud computing, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. Yeah, so those concepts give us new tools we can use to build new models of the world. Yeah. Virtual reality is one of those concepts which fascinates people, and it's developing so rapidly. I can foresee in near future we'll be able to produce virtual reality, which is difficult to distinguish with the physical reality. So those kind of concepts give us ideas to make to inspire people actually to think maybe our universe is already a processing output of computation, similar to virtual reality. The first person to propose, to postulate the idea is actually a German computer scientist. He started to postulate as early as in 1960s. And he mentioned that there's a possibility that the entire universe is being computed on a computer. Yeah. And nothing happens in the next 20 years until 1990. And some mainstream physicists start to take the idea seriously. We have John Wheeler, which is a renowned physicist, and he proposed a very famous phrase called "it from bit." Yeah, all things physical are information theoretical in origin. There's another computer scientist called Edward Franklin, and he actually further postulated, he thinks that the computer probably stays in another place, call it other. So there is this place, other, that hosts the engine that runs the physics. So those are the pioneers, yeah. During the last 3 decades also, there's a lot of popular culture feature the idea in terms of books, in the forms of books, and also movies. Most noteworthy is The Matrix. The movie Matrix actually popularized the idea of a computer simulated world to a very large audience. Nowadays, more and more mainstream scientists beginning to jump into the onto the bandwagon of computational universe. Not only physicists, actually, some philosophers, biologists, and industrial leaders. And more people take the idea seriously. Yeah, start to ask seriously, can we actually model the universe as a computer simulation? Yeah, so it's a very active field at the moment. Yeah. However, at the moment, it's still purely speculation. It's not a theory yet. It's not even a hypothesis. To my mind, if you want to build a theory based on the idea, you need to answer a few fundamental questions, such as where is the computer? Where does it come from? What is it made of? And how it's built? What are its properties? When we buy computers, we want to ask what's the processing speed, what's the memory, so what's the properties? Of course, there's a very important question also, who is the programmer? Yeah. And with answer to those questions, we are hopeful actually to build a new model of the reality based on a computation hypothesis.